Hello there and welcome to this latest Elite FPL video with myself, Stevo, just reflecting on last night, to be honest with you. Obviously, I don't want to go over what Jason said yesterday in his 10-minute stream, which I didn't even realise was a stream. But unfortunately, last night he had some severe internet issues, hence why we couldn't stream, and thank God we didn't. That match between Man United and Wolves was up there with one of the worst matches I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, I'll say this. Wolves look good. Didn't have an end product. And if they did have somebody that could put the ball in the back of the net, Man United would not be coming away with 3 points. They'd be lucky coming away with 1 point. Wolves look good. And we discussed on previous streams that I wanted to watch the Wolves game to see how they perform, to make my decision about Pedro or the Brighton assets in general in my team. And it turns out that I am going to be doing what I was going to be doing in the first place, which is benching Estupiñán and bringing in Watkins. The plan is set. Going on to Man United though, I don't know why they seemed to not gel last night for the first 65-70 minutes, but there is nothing about Man United where I'm thinking, glad I got three assets. I'm happy I've got 3 of them. No. I was more thinking, why on earth have I even got 1 Man United asset in my team? Actually, I take that back. I wish I'd only had a defender/goalkeeper in my team, that's it. Whether it's Shaw or whether it's Onana. I've got Onana, others have got Shaw. Point being is that from what I saw last night, I would not want to be wanting any of their attack whatsoever. Look, Jason summed it up last night pretty well, and I'll just kind of go over a few things that I observed, which was nothing. Fernandes was non-existent. I don't even know if Fernandes even played last night. It was if he'd never played football. Mason Mount. The only thing I noticed was his pathetic attempt of dyeing his hair blonde. Rashford. To be fair, I think Jason was a bit critical of Rashford. I mean, if you're not going to be given the service, what can he do? Don't get me wrong, when he did get the ball at his feet and whatnot, he didn't exactly do anything which was threatening. Garnacho, I think Mark Goldbridge summed it up perfectly. He just tried too hard, trying to impress too much, and I think that it just failed. Don't get me wrong, other than Wan-Bissaka and Varane and Onana, Garnacho was the standout Man United asset or Man United player. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he wasn't, but mainly because he ran around a bit. Once again, his decision making was a bit off, and again, I just think like with anybody, when they're trying too hard, they just take that one extra step too much, or they put in that one extra tackle too much. I thought, to be fair, I thought when Sancho came on, it wasn't. They seemed to have then got a tiny bit of structure, a very tiny bit of structure. They felt a bit more comfortable with Sancho on the left, Rashford in the middle, and that Pelestri or whatever his name is. I don't know why, they just seemed to be a tiny bit more teamwork around them, and they seem to understand their roles a bit better. But overall, if you're a Man United fan, I'd be very, very disappointed. You know, there were teams, obviously I can only go on the teams that I watched. Certainly Burnley, by the second half, they actually played like the Burnley that I know of last season, and without going over the same bloody line, we're going to be having a good season. We'll be all right. We're going to take some batterings, as I keep saying, but when we're playing the likes of Bournemouth, Wolves, Everton, Fulham, and so on and so forth, we'll do all right. like I said, against Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal, we're going to get absolutely thumped. And from a Man United perspective, I saw a team in which it was like they just were in their shells. They just didn't want to attack Wolves whatsoever. In fact, okay, credit where credit's due, Wolves may be the team that were the ones that didn't want to allow Man United to play and actually played their own game, and it caught Man United off guard, which is a very good point. Maybe Gary O'Neill was the one that got his tactics spot on. In fact, forget that, it's no maybe about it. He did get his tactics spot on. Hence why Wolves looked the better team throughout the whole game. And yeah, it is concerning if you're a Man United fan. Yes, they got 3 points. That's the main thing is you got 3 points. That's all that matters. But it's how you got the 3 points. I mean, here's the irony. You got it from a set piece. How many times were Sky Sports putting up the stat? Well, Man United were 20th last season for set piece goals. They were 18th for expected set piece goals. They were 18th for expected assists from set piece goals. They were 19th for goals. You get the idea. And then ironically, they scored from a set piece. Varane, the main man for my Sky Fantasy team, 19th. 19th overall rank in Sky. In the Burnley League. So I was very happy when Varane scored, obviously. And yeah, I just think that from my point of view, my decision was made pretty much last night who I'm getting rid of. It will be Fernandes. He is out the door. He's gone. For me, though, the question is who to bring in. It's one of two players, and I'm leaning towards Diaz because that was the plan all along. Diaz is the one that I'm kind of leaning towards, but I just want to get more and more information. What information is that, Steve? I just want to get a bit more information as we move closer towards the deadline, but I think that I'm still going to be going ahead with this -4 to bring in Watkins and Diaz for Pedro and Fernandes. And of course, what that meant from a fantasy football perspective is that overall, as you can see on screen, I captained Rashford and I missed out on 10 points. Whoop-de-doo. 10 measly stinking points. That is it. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. It really could have been a hell of a lot worse. When I look at... So I always use the moderator leagues. Number one, it's just easier to kind of look at. But I always use the moderator league as a general idea of how I'm doing. And, you know, the people I'm above, Dread, Firetog, Jason and Brew. I'm behind Harbour Boy by 3 points. One Life Soccer by 7. Dan by 7. Armand Dillon by 11. 12. That's it. If I'd have captained Haaland, I'd be 5th. So I'd be 5th in the moderator league. To give you perspective, second spot is Paulie on 88 points. And then Blonde is top with 95. 15,000th in the world. Well, because basically her two different, well, I say differentials, but her two little differentials in Maddison and Onana. But let's just take Nat Maddison as the example, was the one that came through. And obviously Captain Haaland helps a lot as well. But point being is that it's 10 points. I've seen it 1,000 times in the Discord chat. We move on. Unfortunately for Matty T, however, the individual that was hoping to go to number 1 in the world, and that isn't even me taking the piss, that is genuinely being absolutely serious. Matty T, unfortunately, because he had Martinez and Rashford left, it couldn't have gone any worse for him. He ended up on 105 points, and as you know, Martinez got 0. Not even I could make that up. And obviously Martinez getting a yellow card, what was it, in the 17th minute? And Matty, I think it's 1006 he's ended up at. Still a very, very, very good rank, and hopefully Matty can move forward with that and, you know, push on. So I think, look, what have I learned from game week 1 so far? Well, I've learned that the template has won. That's about as obvious as it gets. The template has won. But I'm not really interested from a fantasy football perspective. I'm more interested from a real life Premier League perspective. What have I actually learned from this weekend? Well, firstly, Chelsea are looking good defensively. I think the more they grew into that game, the more they were getting more defensively sound. And I think that genuinely moving forward, and there was something that was stuck in my mind actually from, I think it was Planet FPL. They made a point about on Fantasy Football Hub or something. By the way, this is for Sky, admittedly, but it said go for 3 defensive assets from Chelsea from game week 3. Well, ironically, I'm seriously considering going with that plan as it's changed over from game week 1. I'm seriously thinking of going with double Chelsea defence, potentially going with Reece James. Now, there is an individual in Firetog that's already gone there. Firetog has already gone down that route of bringing in double Chelsea defence, so he's already ahead. But he's got to get through the fact that, hold on a minute here, Reece James potentially could be injured. Unlikely, but he potentially could be out. But again, unlikely. It looked like he was just taken off with fatigue, which is fair enough. And I think that going double Chelsea defence could be very, very profitable. I think from an attacking perspective, there was nothing that I saw. This is just me personally. There was nothing that I saw where I thought, wow, I want to jump onto a Chelsea attack. Not really. Not particularly. I wasn't that blown away by it. But certainly from a defensive aspect, pretty happy. And obviously I can monitor the Matty Cash situation, where I'd like to think that, look, if he doesn't play against Everton, which is unlikely, but if he doesn't, I'm thinking, right, okay, we knew we were going to get a rotation risk here, but I think that certainly potentially swapping them out for Colwill could be a good option. But yeah, I think from my point of view, seeing Chelsea perform relatively well in the second half. Like I said, I'm tipping them to be challenging for the title. Although after that performance, specifically up front, maybe not so. But just going through the Premier League table here, Newcastle, as I stated, have just continued the way they have done, and by all accounts, this new signing that they got, beginning with T, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I know I will. And it is Tonali. So Tonali up front, or more specifically on the right hand side of a 4-3-3, they were brilliant. As we know, they just tore Aston Villa a new one, and again, they just took advantage of, by all accounts, really, really poor tactics from Aston Villa. That's my basic understanding of what happened in that game. And certainly when I mean, are Newcastle fixture-proof? I think from an attacking perspective, they are. I think from an attacking perspective, Newcastle are fixture-proof. And I know Firetog came on talking about Harvey Barnes, and he's certainly one to monitor. Brighton, I pretty much says it all with the fact that every single one of their assets scored. And I think Matoma is the one to have pretty much a guaranteed starter. Man City, don't need to talk about. Arsenal, don't really need to talk about. Fulham, by all accounts, were just extremely lucky. Man United, we've already discussed. Crystal Palace, you know, again, by all accounts, they could and should have won by more than one goal. But we know what we're going to get from Crystal Palace. They're going to keep clean sheets against the rubbish teams, and they're going to be within goals galore against the big boys. Hence why the Arsenal game, even though the history is suggesting a comfortable Arsenal win, Crystal Palace should be able to score against Arsenal, I think. Tottenham, Maddison. That's all you need to know about Tottenham. West Ham, no comment. Chelsea already does. Bournemouth, no comment. Nottingham Forest couldn't care less about. Same as Sheffield United, Everton, Wolves, Luton, Burnley and Aston Villa. Aston Villa are the interesting one again. I think it's just a blip. I think by the end of the season, one of my predictions is net right and calling it right now. Do you remember when Newcastle beat them 5-1? How the hell did that happen? That's what I bet we'll all be saying. How did Newcastle beat them 5-1? When did that happen? Oh, it was the opening day of the season. I barely remember last week. Oh, wow. Because they're fighting for 4th spot with Arsenal at the moment. I don't get it. That's what we'll be saying by May. And yeah, from my personal perspective, I think I'm happy with my plan moving forward. The only slight change is that rather than getting rid of Martinelli, I'm getting rid of Fernandes, because without wanting to repeat myself, but I will do, Fernandes looked terrible. He looked abysmal. So just quickly looking over the mini leagues, specifically the YouTube chat league and the members league. So in the YouTube chat league, we got Peter Scullion first, Harry Dawson second, Bailey. Harry Dawson and Bailey are joint second. Then you've got Madeline Tudor fourth, and then Vijay that's fifth. I'm only going to mention Newton Killer Atoms because he's joint fifth as well, but we only focus on the top 4. But I'm just going to say that now as a regular contributor to the show. But top spot, Peter Scullion is 20 points clear of me. That's it. 20 points clear of me. Whoop-de-doo. Now, it may seem a lot, but if I look at his team here, Leno and Turner in goal doesn't put the fear of life in me. He's got the rotation with the 4.5 defenders, so he's always going to play Estupinan, he's always going to play Saliba, and then it's a case of, do I play Bulldog or Tarkowski? Well, this week he's playing Bulldog, isn't he? He may play Colwill, but he's playing Tottenham, so it's going to be Bulldog. And then a midfield 4 of Fernandes, who's a waste of space based on one game. Salah is the big one, of course, but then he's got March. He could have had any Brighton asset, but just by pure coincidence, he picked the one which was one of the more higher scorers for Brighton this week with 9 points. Just by pure coincidence. Saka, Haaland, Pedro and Watkins. So that team, barring the 4.5 rotation, doesn't scare the living daylights out of me. Then we got Harry Dawson, who is in this 3-4-3 formation again. Another one where you've got Weiser up front, which he had a choice between Mbeumo, I would assume between Mbeumo and Weiser. He's gone with him, and he scored a very, shall we say, fortuitous goal. And when you look, this is the thing, I wouldn't even bother looking at these mini leagues per se and taking them seriously, because I'll be honest with you, I always find it hilarious that there are certain individuals in the Elite FPL community that have gone quiet already. Oh, throughout the whole pre-season, they were with us every single stream. Don't see them. Don't even see them. In the 2 or 3 streams that admittedly they were members' videos, but It's funny how last night when we were doing the stream, didn't see these individuals turn up, even though they were there every single week, because they're already annoyed by game week 1. Get a grip of yourself. Seriously, get a grip of yourself. You can be angry. Come on the show. Come on the show. Me and Jason invite every single one of you to come on and discuss why you're annoyed. Like when doing the Sunday surgery, you got someone coming on saying, yeah, I got 80 points. And like me and Jason said, right, yeah, I'm happy with it. Well, yeah. Would you want a medal? What do you want to talk to us about? Dunno. It's a very difficult conversation. Whereas if someone comes on, like Nuclear Atoms, and says, well, I made a bit of a faux pas getting rid of Fernandes, even though it turns out they got exactly the same points, but I got rid of Fernandes for Foden. You know, like I said, turned out to be the better decision. But that's just, again, by pure circumstance. If he didn't get any team leaks, wouldn't have got Foden. And again, he said, quite rightly, that was my plan. If I hear team leaks that Foden's starting, I'm bringing him in for Fernandes. Brilliant. Stick with it. But as I said to him on Twitter, you cannot complain when Foden gets 3 points, and if, it doesn't matter now because we've got hindsight, but if Fernandes gets something in attack and return, you can't complain about it. Because you said all along your plan was to bring in Foden if you get the team leaks for Fernandes, and you've done it. And like I said, by chance, they've come out on top, and Fernandes doesn't even look like he's going to get assist ever in his life again, based on that one performance. So yeah, with Harry Dawson, Johnston in goal, yeah, called the... Oh yeah! That's what I wanted to talk about, my predictions, my points predictions. They didn't do too bad, actually, but yeah, Johnson with the clean sheet, Estupiñán with 7. Where's that piece of paper gone? Yeah, Estupiñán, Chilwell, Saliba, Salah, you know, none of these teams I'm looking at going, oh my God, I fear them. It's just the ones with Salah, and like me and Jason quite rightly pointed out on the Sunday surgery, all these teams have got Salah in. Same within the Rivals League, you know. Like I said, I don't really like going through these leagues, because even me, when I watch certain things, I'm like, I don't really care. But Blonde, because it just gets a bit tedious. But Blonde being top, Peter Scullion second in the Rivals League, Bailey and Vichet. You know, these are all the same names that we're going to have within these mini leagues. And then in the, just quickly going over the Members League, you've got Matty T, former number 39 in the world. I've got one more clickbait video out of that, and that's it. Then we got Blonde, Joe H, and then Peter Scullion fourth. And that's it. So I'm not particularly going into panic mode. It's game week 1. We've learned bits and pieces. That's about it. But yeah, going on my points predictions, it's not an exact science, but for game week 1, for my specific team, I said, even though I had Johnston originally, I said Johnston 6 points. He got 6 points. Chilwell, I said 1. We know what he got, 7. Shaw, I said 6. He got 5. John Stones, I said he'll get 2. Didn't even play. Fernandes, I said he'd get an assist, so I put 5 points. He got 3. Saka 10. He got 10. Eze 5. Well, he had about 50 chances. Didn't get anything, so he got 3. Martinelli 5. He got 5. Rashford 7. We all know how that went. Watkins 2. And, well, Watkins, what did he get? 5 in the end. And Haaland, I put 6. He got 13. But this didn't include bonus points, by the way. This didn't include bonus points. So it's a bit skewed. But anyway, Onana, these are the players that I feared of missing out on. So Onana, I said 6. He got 8. Or 9. What was it? 9. Ramsdale, I said 6. He got 2, wasn't it? Estupiñán, I said 6. He got 7. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I said 5. He got 2. Salah 7. I think he did get 7 in the end, didn't he? Foden 5. He got 3. Matoma 5. I don't know what Matoma got 5. Maybe 8. Basically, I predicted an assist for Matoma. Son, I said 2. He got 2. Maddison, I said 5. He got 9. Jackson, I said, thought he'd score. He didn't. Kane didn't exist. And Cash, I said 2. He got -1. So within reason, not too far off with my predictions. Nothing, apart from Chilwell, who exceeded expectations, apart from Chilwell and Haaland, apart from them two, pretty much near on bang on the money with my predictions. I mean, Rashford, obviously that went a bit sour as well, but not too bad. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with my predictions, how they went. I just want to bring up a conversation piece from John Harris. So, as you know, over the last... And here we go. Yep. As you know, it's all been kicking off in the members chat regarding the influx of content creation and whether we choose to watch it, whether we consume it, blah, 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 blah. And my stance was, look, if you've got a hobby, it don't matter what the hobby is, even if it's watching steam trains. If you've got a hobby and you watch and you choose to watch content on YouTube about it, there's only so much you can watch about it. And I'm telling you now, you will forget the bloody word, but you'll resonate with one or two content creators that you enjoy, and then that'll be it. It's like me with Jeff Marshall as a prime example. There are lots and lots and lots of underground tube YouTubers out there, but I find them really, really boring. Really boring. And I've tried quite a lot of them, but there's just something about them which feels a bit either fake or it's just boring. Jeff Marshall, for me, is the one. So I just watch his stuff. Now, admittedly, I'm not going to say that I'm passionate about underground tubes and stuff like this, but it's just a general interest for me. But certainly when it comes to the world of fitness, like I said, there are two individuals I've got some form of time for, and I don't even subscribe to their channels because they're just clickbait hungry whores. But that's Larry Wills and Matt Tennyson. But again, I may watch one video every 2 weeks. These people put out, well, Larry Wills puts out, or he used to before he started dying, 3 or 4 videos a week. I watch maybe one every 3 or 4 weeks. And Matt Tennyson is like once a week. And even then, I don't even watch his stuff unless one randomly pops up, and that's it. But realistically, I don't watch it. But in general, in the fitness world, I don't watch any of it because it's just clickbait, hungry whores desperate for views. That's all it is. And even, funny enough, when I did the video yesterday, I put on Twitter a photograph of, by pure coincidence, a picture that popped up on YouTube, and his name's Shredded Sports Science. That's the bold-headed guy. Don't know if you can see that there on screen, but that's the channel. And he put up a video yesterday, and I just put up on Twitter, if you know, you know. And again, I'm not going to lie, I clicked on it, and it just got me angry. That's why I don't really watch his stuff much. Occasionally, if I see one of his videos pop up, like I did yesterday, I'd just be like, well, there's 8 minutes, I may as well click on it. And again, it gives me what I want, but really, I'm not going to subscribe to it, not going to consume it all the time. In fact, here's a prime example of what I was talking about regarding how we, as human beings in this era, seem to think that everybody's doing it when it's like, no, they're not. Car crash videos. If you've gone out your way to watch road rage videos or car crash videos, and the algorithm keeps pushing car crash videos, you're just going to assume there are car crashes every single day in your area alone. There's not. In fact, how many car crashes do you see on a daily basis? I'd argue never. Never see a car crash. You may see on a daily basis a car crash that's actually happened, but an actual car crash that you've personally witnessed happen at that time is very, very rare. you personally may be involved in near misses, but actually crashing, it's very, very rare to see that. And look, like I say, once you start consuming all this stuff, you just assume it's always happening. It's like I said to you about Instagram. Congratulations, you found a model, and I don't mean literally a model, but you've created a model in which when we consume this shite, which I thankfully don't, but when you consume this shite, people just assume, oh, everybody's like this. No, they're not. I'll give you a prime example. I know it's going to sound horrible, but I'm going to say it anyway. So yesterday I was down in Acton. No disrespect, shithole. Fucking hate it. And I was in a particular branch of McDonald's. And my testosterone was going through the roof at looking at the absolute scum that I was surrounded by. I hated it. I felt very, very, very uncomfortable. But they were just everyday normal people. But there was one person that stood out. A woman who I'd guess would be early 30s. She was wearing a bright pink top. Well, it was basically a matching jogging outfit. Bright pink. Her face had more plastic inside it than Michael Jackson. She looked like a freak. Her lips, bright pink lipstick. She looked horrific. But why does she look like that? Because she's trying to fit in. You can tell she's addicted to her phone, because rather than spending time with her children, all 4 of them, nah, can't do that. With her long nails, just looking on the phone like they do. Emma, stop it. Stop it. Oh, it really angers me. Because that phone's more important than your own child. Horrific behaviour. She's doomed. That woman is doomed. Her kids just... it was just awful looking at it. Sometimes I feel like, I know this is completely different, going off complete subject matter now, but I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that you see, you go on Instagram and you see, you're completely bombarded with all these individuals that are, just showing off their bodies and stuff, or whatever you follow, it's just showing off. But how many times you see these people, like I said, in a McDonald's in Acton, of how many people are in there? About 50 people, one person. But this McDonald's was part of a complex. A ginormous complex, okay? So of the hundreds of people in that complex, she was one person that I could tell, that I could see, that I'd witnessed, that was not I'm nowhere near an Instagram influencer, but I can tell she's the kind of woman that loves the attention. I love it. I love all these men messaging me. It's brilliant. I love it. One person out of, let's just say, 600 people. But if I was if I was addicted to Instagram, I'd just assume these people exist everywhere. Again, they don't. It's the same. We bring it back to fantasy football. It's, you think that everybody's got the same team. They don't. They don't. And you think that all the content out there is the same, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd argue it pretty much is, but really, it's, you don't have to consume it. Just stop it. Just stop watching it, and trust me, you will enjoy the process more. It's like me with weightlifting. If I was to consume the amount of steroid abused individuals, I'd start taking steroids. I'd have to take it, because I'd be like, oh my god, I feel so insecure. Look at this guy here. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Got to get bigger. Don't get me wrong. I see people in the gym every day that abuse steroids. They look like shit because they're so insecure with themselves. Now, that may not be based on imagery, which is fair enough, but they're just so insecure with themselves that they believe steroids is the answer. It's not. Train hard, work hard, eat correctly, you'll do okay. Stick to the basics. That's all you got to do. But people can't even be bothered to train hard. Same in the world of fantasy football. I'm not speaking ill of Dread FPL, but Dread FPL appears to be someone that consumes quite a bit of content, interacts with a lot of FPL content creators, and does his own research. And nothing wrong with that, by the way. Nothing wrong with that at all. But he quite rightly made this point. You've got to essentially sift through the shit and try and beat the template. And that's your job. And you can enjoy the process of, like, I mean, do I particularly enjoy the process? Not really. But if you stick to your guns and go, do you know what? I'm going to do player predictions. Now, whoever's watching this and going, you're speaking shit, mate, about your player predictions, fine, that's your opinion. But of these player predictions, how many was I off by a point or two? Okay, barring the extreme examples of Chilwell, Rashford and Haaland, and maybe Maddison at a push, most of it is within 1 point. 1 point. And let's just say, for argument's sake, I've gone Shaw instead of Estupinan and Johnston instead of Onana. Well, okay, I missed out on, if I'd gone with Johnson and Shaw, which was 11 points, that's what they actually got. Well, my prediction was 12 points. My prediction was 12 points. They got a total of 11. With Onana and Estupinan, I predicted, and here we go, 12 points. Okay, Onana did very well, and he got 8 points, and Estupinan got an assist. So they got 7, 14, 15 points. So that's 3 points. Now I'm sure some prat there's going, yeah, but if you total that up across the whole season, you're going to miss out on 300 points. Yeah, I know that. But 12 points for, like I said, 12 points versus 15 points. But then when you look at like the overall moving forward, I mean, what were the differing factors of Onana keeping a clean sheet and not? The fact that a referee didn't give the penalty. If the referee gives the penalty last night and Wolves score, it's 1-1. Onana goes from 8 points down to 3. Or however many save points he got last night. I don't even know how many save points he got last night, to be honest with you. Let's have a quick look here. It must have been at least a minimum of 1 save point. Even I saw him save 3 on target. I've pressed the wrong bloody button. Of course I have. Oh, he got 2. Okay, oh, wow. He made 6 saves last night, didn't he? Blimey, okay. So you got 2 save points. But you've got to remember, I'm basing this on Wolves don't take shots, so I'm not going to give them a save point. That's it. You know, I can't account for simple things like that, but, you know, like I said, if Onana concedes that penalty, he's down to 3 points, or 4 points. Okay, he could have saved it, or they could have missed it, I get it, but let's just work on the probabilities that he's going to score. So you can make the game relatively fun with your own basic research. Now, someone could go, yeah, but Steve-o, I can just watch the Black Box, or I can watch Fantasy Football Hub, or I can watch the FPL Gameweek. And they bring up actual statistics based on models. Great, watch it then. I don't care. But this, I personally think is just more accurate. Within reason. So, you can make it fun, you can make it enjoyable for yourself. It's just about going out your way to doing it. It's the same with the gym world. You can either, 1, listen to the bollocks that these clickbait hungry whores are doing on YouTube regarding their gym advice, which is normal advice, but they just constantly contradict what they're saying all the time. So 1 minute it's do lots of reps to grow your arms. Do small amount of reps to grow your arms. Don't do these exercises to grow your arms. Do this. And then the following video is don't do this, but the other day you told us to do this and do this instead. just goes on and on and on. Whereas if you just go, do you know what, I'm going to go to the gym this is what I did. That's all I did. To put one vein on my fucking arm. What did I do? Every day in this bedroom, I had this dumbbell here. It's here. If I can just put it on the screen. 7 kilograms. And for a week, literally every day, I would just curl. I would just do concentration curls, bent over concentration curls every single day, and just do 50 reps. That's all I'd do. And then on one occasion during who was it again? It was a Man United, funny enough, it was a Man United game. Man United were playing somebody. I think it was Liverpool, Man U versus Liverpool. And I said, right, throughout this whole match, every 10 minutes, I'm just going to do as many curls as I can for 5 minutes. That's all I did. Now, an expert will say, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. That's going to tear your muscles to shreds. You're going to injure yourself. It's not going to grow. You're not going to get absolutely ginormous arms. No, I know, but am I enjoying it? Yeah. Is it working within reason? There we are, done. Same in the world of fantasy football. You're not allowed to captain Rashford. Why? Well, Haaland's got Burnley. There's a high chance he'll do this. There's a high chance he'll do that. Rashford, on the other hand, it's a bit out there. Not many people are going to captain him. It's Man United. They're up against Wolves, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I just think that Rashford's got a decent chance to match Haaland's points. Okay, I get it. He didn't. And even if you take this dumbbell analogy as a simple example, have I got 50-inch biceps? No. But I'll tell you what, my arms are more defined than I've ever seen them in my life. But again, that's lots of different factors that focus into this. And that's why you can have fun with your hobby. But again, because you as an individual is consuming so much shite about that hobby, I'm just not enjoying it anymore. Because I'm just confused. Hence why I only personally listen to certain FPL channels. Hence why I only watch or listen to certain wrestling podcasts. Hence why in the fitness world, the only thing I will listen to is Mind Pump. Now, admittedly, I stopped listening to Mind Pump for 1 year. 1 year. And I actually downloaded my 2 episodes, most recent episodes, just the other week. And I thought to myself, it's so refreshing to hear these boys back. Not back, but it's so refreshing to have these in my ear again. And I'm probably going to maybe not consume them every day because, again, when you overconsume something, you as an individual gets really, really bored of it. Like with Mind Pump as a prime example, it's just pretty much give or take the same thing over and over and over. But I am now going to start re-listening to them again because they speak so much sense. In the world of fantasy football, it's the same thing. You can either, 1, consume every single deadline stream. I'm going to go to James from Planet FPL for 10 minutes, then Harry for 10 minutes, then Andy, then Raptor, then Mate, then Elite FPL, back to James, Harry. You do that. Brilliant. Well done. You're getting so many different points of view, so much different information, you're not going to be able to make a decision yourself. Whereas if you just stick with 1, you're going to have your own thought process about whatever you want to do with your team, and then the individual on screen is just going to say what they say, and then it may reinforce or put you off whatever you want to do and go, do you know what, that's fine. Whereas if you go through 6 different things, each individual may have a different opinion, and you're just going to be like, I don't know what to do. Just enjoy the process. And the reason why I brought up John Harris's message here is because he sums up everything. By the way, it's very rare for John Harris to even write in the members chat, so clearly this pissed him off. This clearly pissed John off to the point of where he needed to write something in the members chat. And John's a very good fantasy football player. We always have a choice. Remember, you don't have to play the game in the first place. There are plenty of other versions of fantasy football to participate in. Dream Team, Telegraph, Sky, etc. It's nice to see someone's actually writing proper sentences, proper commas and whatnot, close brackets in the right places. They have much less content available on platforms, so are less likely to have people copying teams. But we choose to play the Fantasy Premier League version because of its popularity. I'd also add in there, and its simplicity. And it's free. I understand the frustration regarding the game, but I don't think you can blame the content creators for becoming popular and making the game easy for an individual who wants to play the game without any thought or strategy and just copy someone else's team. I absolutely 100% agree on that. It's just sad for them, in my opinion, as the only enjoyment they get out of the game is a fake overall rank. And yeah, thank you, John. It's for them, don't get me wrong, if you're just playing the game for overall rank, fine. For people like John, I'm just going to use Podner because he's there in front of me. Podner or myself, Jason, whatever, we're doing it to win a mini league or to finish above X, Y, and Z, but we want to do well in the mini leagues. Hence why we focus on the YouTube chat league, the members league, and the rivals league. Specifically for Elite FPL. Because we want to come top of those particular leagues. Yes, if someone like Matty T is doing very, very well at the game, will we highlight it? Yeah, we will. If someone else is doing very, very well at the game, will we highlight? Of course we will. Bloody hell, you're 40th in the whole world. Come on, talk to us about it. What does it feel like? Nothing wrong with that. But it becomes less engaging. I don't know. It's really difficult to explain. I'm not going to go into it. Too much of anything is bad for you, as I've just discussed. Pick and choose a limited amount of content you want to watch, or at times, none at all. Yeah, as I've just discussed. Absorb the information and make your own decisions. Yeah, as I've just discussed. If you're not finding a way to enjoy the game, then stop. I would also say, if you're not finding a way to enjoy content, stop. And that's exactly what I do personally. Just stop. Again, slightly different for people in their 30s or 40s that are experienced, and or 50s. That are experienced enough to have a wise head on and say this stuff. Because anybody that's, I've discussed this to death, but anybody that's aged 20, basically mid-20s, you're fucked. And I get why you're fucked. Because when you were growing up, technology was just in your face. And parents didn't really understand its negative effects on the child. And now, unfortunately, anybody that's roughly 23 to 28, 29, you're doomed. Because your whole life is the iPhone era, as they call it. Anybody that's roughly younger than 22, you're being brought up by people that are roughly my age. We're in our 30s. People in your 30s and your 40s. We know the effect. Because we were brought up in an era where we kind of evolved into the technology world where we are now, we understand its negative. We also understand the positive effects, but we understand the negative effects. And this is why I found it so fascinating on a Mind Pump when Adam was talking about how he has regretted for his child, Max, putting an iPad just so he could put his shoes on, because the iPad became a distraction. And now he's chosen to stop doing all that. Max is 4 years old now, so he's decided to stop doing all that, and he's decided, right, I'm going to be doing things that are going to help my son develop his brain and actually become more engaging and understand actually, this is how you are supposed to be acting and how you are supposed to be as a human being, rather than this, gotta be go, constant go. I've got to be on my phone. I can't just be doing a podcast. I've got to be on my phone and talk at the same time. I've got to look at the research. No. Got to stop. Got to be messaging. Oh my God, someone's messaged me. Oh, next person messaged me. Next person messaged me. And it's just this constant, you're constantly engaged. Your brain is just overloaded. It's constantly overloaded. That's why people are so fucking stressed at the moment. It's the most unhealthiest thing to be doing. Just this stress. Not healthy. And like I say, anybody that's younger than 21, because your parents within reason are going to be similar ages to me, it means that we can kind of educate that, yes, you can use a phone, nothing wrong with that. Yes, you can use social media, but I'm going to educate you in a way in which you don't need to be consuming social media continuously. But the problem is and I'm not going to go into it now, but the problem is that, as we all know, these social media sites have been designed as gambling machines to keep you there, constantly engaged on it. And it's ruining people, but again, that's a different story for a different day. Whereas going on what John's just said regarding consuming content or any content, pick and choose what you like and just enjoy it for what it is. The second you start going out your way to just watch everything, you're absolutely doomed. And it's like, I'm not attacking Gary as an example, Harbour Boy, but if he enjoys listening to 10, 12, 15 different FPL podcasts, fine. If you enjoy it, fine. If it's not having a negative impact on your life, fine. But if Harbour Boy was to say, oh, I'm a bit confused, you see, this podcast said this, but then they said that, and then this podcast this, but then Elite FPL, they're saying that, I don't know what to do. Then you've got to make that hard decision of, well, of these 15 podcasts, actually, I only really like X, Y, Z. Same for me. So on my podcast feed, I'm not going to name them, but on my podcast feed, when certain podcasts come out, I'm just like, I'm not that interested enough to listen to them. I've got too many other things to be listening to, which are more entertaining and enjoyable than that. So I just don't download it. I don't listen to it. There was one podcast that I used to listen to on a regular basis. Stopped because it just became, I don't know, it just became just sillier and sillier and sillier. And I'm just like, you used to have a really good format to your podcast, like a genuinely really good format. But now it's just become two individuals talking to each other about shit that I just do not give a fuck about. So I just turned off. Probably like this channel, to be honest with you. But what I like, the thing that I like about me and Jason though, is the integrity we've got. We've always been like this. It's not like we used to be this, and then anybody that's joining this channel right now or watching this right now on the premiere is thinking, fucking hell, Steve, shut the fuck up, just go back to fantasy football. You know what this is about. In fact, as I've told you a billion times, as Steve Merchant, there we are, Tyler, as Steve Merchant says on XFM, regarding when they ask questions about, you know, what's your favourite biscuit, or the people with deformities and stuff like this, they get more, or unusual facts, they get more responses to that than when they actually ask about music. It's the same on this channel. We get more feedback on the wafflings of me talking about, quote, serious conversations or things that actually impact your life than the FPL stuff. With most of the FPL stuff, it's just someone will send a comment, it's just a statement, there's nothing you can add. It's not, Steve-O, Jason, I've got X player in my team, do you think I should remove him? Get none of that. We just get positive, well, I say positive feedback, there is a lot of negative as well, but a lot of it is very positive feedback on these types of conversations, because it's just real, it's open, it's honest. It's the truth. And like I say, because me and Jason have been like this throughout, people just consume it. People just enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, I'm fully aware there are people that will not be watching this now that are regular contributors to the FPL because they hate this stuff, which is fair enough. There's quite a high number that do enjoy this stuff. Because again, I make this point, we involve the community. We're about the community. If you want to bring up a subject matter in the members chat, I'll fucking slate it to death if I have to. Or I'll engage in it and I'll give you my opinion in it. When it comes to the Discord, specifically the live call-in Sunday surgery, come on air, talk to us. Now, admittedly, because of the influx of callers, we've now, Jason's now decided that we've got to put a time limit on. Fine, no problem at all. At least we get through the callers quicker. But there will be the odd caller here, or they'll name them now. Firetog, Ray, as an example. They've got enough talking points where it's like, actually, this is quite an engaging conversation, where there are some other people where it's just like pretty much one-word answers. All right, let's just move on. This is time-consuming for no reason. If you've got something to say, to talk about, and it's an engaging conversation, I'll talk all day. I don't care. What's there to lose? Nothing. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Cheers everybody for watching. As ever, if you enjoy what me and Jason do and you want to subscribe to the channel, by all means, if you enjoyed this, simply hit the like button. Cheers everybody, and I've just realised I don't think I actually swore in that either. See you later.